Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Wednesday, October 4th, 2023. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy Hump Day, everyone. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. Right now, you'll notice a pretty decent developing rejection underway right now. Price dropped in overnight trading, and during the London Open, a very strong bullish reaction, which has caused a nice V-bottom reversal right now. Recovering the previous session's lows, fade after trend day right now, approaching the previous session's midpoint. So we could be bouncing as high as that midpoint, 42.93.5. If price is able to close through that level, perhaps we get an even bigger bounce in the 1 to 2 days ahead. Now overall, we're watching for signs of rejection of prices below the previous quarter's low. If we can reject this zone well enough, with a strong enough rejection here, we may bounce back to the previous quarter's midpoint, which is 44.50, maybe even see some overage back up toward 45.50. We have the FOMC key level here at 45.02 as well. So at some point here, after taking the FOMC offered, the idea is that we find a strong enough low and we snap back toward that zone. So we can find a low here. Maybe this is it, maybe it needs more to develop, but somewhere in this zone here over the next 1 to 3 or 4 days, we find some strong low that could bring us back. Failure to hold 4,200 would be the big death knell there. If we drop into 4,200 and can't really hold it, it's going to open up much more weakness below. 40.50 and 4,000 could be below in that scenario. Taking a look here at the NQ, similar reaction on the lows. Nice 3-point reversal down there. Very strong move off of support. That's 14.6 right here, and that's the same level it bounced off of here, same level here, gapped up and through it here. That's been a big time level, 14.6. This pivot could be a strong pivot here for a failure down the road, but it could also be a near-term bounce opportunity based off of how strong it is and where it's happening. So very nice bounce. If this thing is going to continue higher, you want to see the bulls keep the previous session's low bid, and you want to see a return back to the previous session's midpoint. Previous session's mid, 841 and a quarter. 841 right now. We're at 762, so we still have some upside. Any pullback could get us into that target up above for the day. Again, keep an eye on 14.6 overall. If at some point we fail through 14.6 today, tomorrow, or the next day, that could be a tremendous failure here that opens up quite a bit of downside up ahead. So keeping an eye on that zone there. Now, watching crude oil. Crude is down 2.4% today. A big time drop. 87s now in play. The previous session flushed out the 88s as we were expecting. Up here, we were looking for a rejection here that would swing us back to 88s. Yesterday had a strong enough low, but not a super strong low. A strong enough low to hold off prices for the day. A decent bounce back to 90s. The idea was maybe that's a strong enough low to get us to a key range midpoint. And here today, you're seeing a failure through that low and a new low here. So we'll remove the developing key range at the moment as it is not playing out. What we see here is a further development of this expanding range with 91 right in the middle of that range. The previous month's close, previous quarter's close, all in that zone. So if we can find a rejection here of 88s, perhaps it's developing right now. 86.98, the low just now. Watching for signs of a stronger rejection here. If we can start to bounce and return back above 88s, we have a shot to go get that midpoint, and now we have a key range that's in place. So right now, watching for signs of rejection, but not looking to fade into this weakness unless we get a strong low. Right now, we could be developing one at this moment. Taking a look here at gold futures. This one had a very narrow range of price action in the previous session. Big time sell-off right back to the 1830 level. Same thing we mentioned up here when prices were at 1950. If price fails at 1950, we could be dropping 120 points into 1830. We may even see a little bit more overage into about 1810, 1800, but right now sitting here in a very narrow 2-day range. The previous session's range closed narrow, especially against the 5-period average, but also a squat bar here. That could lead to a big breakout up ahead, but right now we're developing a narrow 2-day range, mostly inside day at the moment. 2-day range could be developing here for a break ahead. Given this weakness, we need to be watching the previous session's highs here. Any failure here, and you go outside day down as you continue to find that strong low. Right now, no strong low just yet, which means we still may need a little more downside before we bounce. Again, 1810, a big time level there. CVPOC and support for the year. A failed new high here opens up a downside push into the zone as price tries to find a low for a bounce back toward 1900 up ahead. Lastly, looking at the YM. YM also with a V-bottom reversal here off the lows of the pre-market trade. A fade after trend day developing here off of yesterday's huge sell-off day. You had a stop run day with a midpoint here at 33.4. To be exact here, it's 33.413. That could be a target here today in the case of continued strength to the upside. This previous session's low is going to be important there, about 33.120 or so. Any pullback into that zone, still bulls want to defend it for a push into 33.400. Now, at the moment, not the strongest low. It's a counter trend bounce within a very aggressive downtrend. That's what it is at the moment. So while you could be bullish right now and look to defend and buy into this move as we return back toward the previous mid, it's a very short-term opportunity, as any strength here could be met with weakness later today for selling pressure up ahead. So again, bears clearly control the short-term trend right now and the medium-term trend, and bulls are desperately trying to find a strong low. This is a good intraday low right now, good strong intraday low developing, not yet a strong swing low. So while this could be a good counter trend move, look to take your profits along the way, as bears may look to defend into strength for another round of weakness up ahead. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out here heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.